All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video, live stream, premiere, whatever I'm gonna do with it today, man. I hope you guys are blessed. Sincerely hope everybody's having a good one. Sincerely hope everybody enjoyed the last video we put out about what did I call it? I called it How Much You Pay Depends on Your Level of Ugly. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I thought that was pretty fun. It was masterful for me to do it. Again, my thought process, you know, it's all over the place sometimes, but you know, practice makes perfect. But I hope you guys were able to pick up what I was putting down in that video. And again, I have nothing more than the good shit to deliver today. All right. First time to the channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Another hot humid day here in the Philippines. I'm getting a little bit of a glare. I hope that this doesn't reflect in the camera, but if it does, pay attention to my words and not necessarily what I look like. I think you guys know what I look like by now. Just some big black bald guy with glasses. It doesn't change. You know, I think I'm pretty. If I had to scale myself on the level of ugly, I would put myself I'm not gonna say that because everybody wants to believe whatever tier they fit into. Okay, so without further ado, I want to give everybody a chance to get into the building and listen to the video. Get the likes up on the video, subscribe, super chat, do what you need to do. Support the good Doc in this endeavor because Doc is going to deliver probably one of the better contents that I've done in the past. I'm going to try to remain articulate in my way of delivering my messages, and I hope that you guys are able to understand where I'm coming from. So, watching the news recently, reading articles. Doc's not really into social political issues and things like that, and I never will be. Where's the fun in that? I mean, there is always something to learn in every situation, but for here, just want to have some fun and I want to have some conversation. So, as I was saying until I rudely interrupted myself, apparently, divorce in the Philippines is something that is still a bill waiting to be passed. I repeat. The bill to allow divorce to happen in the Philippines is apparently something that is still on the list of things to get passed here in the governmental office. I don't know exactly where it is, don't really care where it is, but a lot of people have been asking me, you know, Doc, how do you feel about divorce in the Philippines? How do you feel divorce will work out in the Philippines? Matter of fact, if you want to know the truth, I think divorce in the Philippines will be absolutely awesome, okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat the shit. I think divorce in the Philippines would be the best thing that the Philippines could do for its people. And that's just me talking shit. And I'll explain to you a little bit my thoughts behind it. But first, I want to say something real quick because I've been getting a lot of backlash over something that I've said before in the past and shit. You know, Filipinos, and I love you guys to death, you are like my second home, my second family. But a lot of Filipinos are like trying to compare themselves to people in the US, and one of their main arguments is, oh, people in the US divorce so quickly, and divorce rates in the US, don't quote me on this because I don't know the statistics, 1 in every 5 marriages end in divorce or some shit like that. You know, something to that effect. You know, they're trying to quote me on some bullshit, and I tell people all the time, I'd be like, look, if the Philippines allowed for divorce, I bet you that line at the courthouse would be around the building and circle that some bitch 3 or 4 times. You understand? There are a lot of people here in the Philippines that are not happy in their marriages, and if they could divorce, they would. Now, in the Philippines, they do allow annulments. I think annulment, in my personal opinion, hit and miss. I mean, it's a longer process to get things done, a lot more expensive to my knowledge, and you know, there's too many stipulations and things that go along with it. And naturally, Filipinos that are not happy in their relationship, Filipino men that are not happy in their relationships, they just separate, you know? And that's just the way that it is. You separate and there's no divorce. So whenever these women looking to get into relationships with foreign men and all of that stuff have to explain to their significant other the reasons why they can't get married, you know, that becomes an issue. Now, again, I know a lot of you guys are players for life. You come to the Philippines, smash and dash and do your thing, and I'm not against it, but there are a chosen few that like to come to the Philippines. There are a chosen few that would actually enjoy being in a relationship with the Filipino. And because of that, I feel like the barrier where, oh, I'm only separated and I'm still married, that really becomes an issue. Now, I tell gentlemen all of the time, even in a video that I made a long time ago about single versus single and available, you know, if that woman's not available and you are caught in a relationship with her, foreigner or local, whoever, and she's still married, you can go to jail for adultery and all of that shit. You know, it does depend on how the relationship is set up. It does depend on how things are, you know, set up in their relationship as far as them being separated. But it's not worth it to go to jail over a piece of anything. You understand? So if you come back to what's real, I honestly believe divorce in the Philippines would be awesome. There is no ifs, ands, or asses about it. I mean, it's for the benefit of the people. Now, it's really different for me because I've been around Filipinos for practically a third of my life. I shouldn't say a third of my life, and we understand that Filipinos are tight-knit families, and you know, Filipinos are very, you know, they're like a singular unit, especially in the household and things like that. So I often think about what divorce could actually mean for the family structure within Filipino families. A lot of people stay together for the sake of the family in the Philippines. Mostly Filipinos are willing to endure, deal with all the fucked up third parties, extramarital affairs, and all of that shit to keep their family together. This is what I've known about most Filipinos. Now, you have some that like to get theirs on the side as well, but for the most part, a Filipino would like to keep her family together. But I think that if divorce was an option, I think that she wouldn't sit around and accept that shit. I mean, it's ingrained in the family, and you can ask any Filipino you know about, just making sure I'm not dying over here, Filipinos to tell you about family structure and dynamic, and maybe the mother and the father, the ina, the ama, the, you know, the tito, tita, and the lola and lolo will try to convince you not to get a divorce because of long-standing traditions and family structures in the Philippines, tight-knit families. You keep the family together at all costs. They may try to convince you not to get a divorce, but I do believe that if divorce was an option, I'm signing that motherfucking document right now. You understand? I think most Filipinos would sign that document and fucking can't wait to fucking get a divorce. In some situations, you know, if divorce was allowed. I do believe there's a lot of money for the courts to be made with the divorcing. I think that would bring a level of income per se, or what do you call it? A level of money to the government offices and stuff. If they did allow divorce, that would probably be their biggest money maker. And I'm just saying that to be funny, but if we're being real, I do believe that divorce would be awesome in the Philippines, just as an option. You know, divorce in the Philippines as an option is not really a bad thing. Everybody should have the option whether to stay or go. I mean, you know, in the US, people get married for 72 hours. I think Kim Kardashian's relationship was 72 hours. And I think Britney Spears' relationship, she got married in Vegas and divorced 24 hours later. So, I mean, it's always good to have the option. And yes, those are celebrity examples, but in reality, in real life, I mean, as far as couples and things like that in the United States, I mean, divorce as an option is never a bad thing. Now, I don't want you to get into a relationship with the sole purpose of believing just in case shit doesn't work out, I can get a divorce. If you're going to get into a relationship, I would hope that you would get into the relationship hoping and praying that it lasts the duration of your life and your spouse's life. You know, I want you, there is no such thing as forever. Walang forever, it doesn't exist. We all know that, but I would hope that for the duration of your life, if you choose to get married, you would want to be with that person for as long as you possibly can. But divorce as an option in the Philippines would definitely be awesome. And to be honest with you, from a foreigner perspective, just the good doc's perspective as a foreigner living here in the Philippines, this, that, and the other, from that particular perspective, it would be absolutely awesome to have divorce available in the Philippines, simply because a lot of foreigners, oh god, that's a big bird. Anyways, a lot of foreigners would probably get married in the Philippines. If they know that they can get divorced, I mean, why not? It's cheaper to get married here. I mean, you can go to the courthouse anywhere. You can have a nice, decent wedding for a relatively low cost. So foreigners will be more willing to get married here in the Philippines, knowing that if shit doesn't go well, they could get a divorce. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, with getting married with the idea of divorce in mind is not a good way to enter any relationship or any type of marriage. But I'm just saying that to say this: divorce as an option in the Philippines would be awesome. A lot of people would be like, Doc, man, I'm not sure, man. And there are a lot of senators and people in government offices that are against it. I think this has been a long-standing issue for as far as I can remember, within the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, if not more, about the idea of bringing divorce to the Philippines. But then again, if you ask me, it's nothing more than the Philippines following in the footsteps of the United States. Even though divorce has been made part of the United States forever, I think the call for it and the demand for it as far as the people are concerned and things of that nature make divorce in the Philippines a viable option. Now, there has also been another case that's been argued, same-sex marriage. We're not going to get into it. I made a video about that a long time ago on my first trip back to the Philippines, but that's also been a long-standing issue, and that has been a long-standing issue since the US has allowed for same-sex marriages. And a lot of people are saying, yo, Philippines, where you at on that? You know, that's something that I do not believe will happen, unfortunately. I think that, there are some things that some people are willing to overlook, but for some reason that is one thing that they're not willing to accept as part of law just yet. Just my personal opinion. I don't think they're ready for that yet. But divorce is definitely something that would be an awesome option for Filipinas and Filipino men in the Philippines. I think that it's a little bit scary for the men than it is for the women, because most times it is the men that are fucking up in these relationships. It is the men that stand to lose probably the most in the relationship should the woman file for a divorce. And I promise you, if irreconcilable differences is an option for divorce, as it is on most documentation, I can almost guarantee you that would be the reason why most of these women would file. Okay? I've met quite a few women who just can't stand their relationships that they're currently in, can't stand the marriage, they can't stand it. I've met quite a few guys who are accepting of the relationship, but they don't really like it either. So to have divorce as an option in the Philippines, it would definitely be awesome in my opinion. Again, it's just an option. Shit, you ain't gotta do it if you don't want to do it, but it's highly recommended if you're not happy. I do have to say this though, because I am a man, I'm a family man to an extent. I ain't got no children that I know of and things like that, but I do believe that divorce would be hard on the children. Separation is probably, separation is probably the same as it would be for divorce if the mother and the father are no longer living together. So divorce would just be to make it official so that mother can go marry somebody else. That would be the only reason you would need to get a divorce, if you ask me. If the mother or the father are looking to remarry, I've seen guys get married twice in the Philippines and they weren't divorced from their from their first wife. That was weird. First of all, I'm trying to ask that man, how did that even happen? How were you even allowed to do that? I don't know, man. If you get married in a different province or something like that, I guess there's no documentation of you ever being married in the first place, but I've seen too many situations about the illegal wives, about the second wife and the second girlfriend. Matter of fact, let me tell you a true story. True story. This is the realest story that I could ever tell. There was this guy, a high-ranking official in the military, high-ranking official in the Philippine military. I don't know his exact position in the military. I don't know the name, and thank God I don't. Even if I did, I wouldn't share that. But he had a wife, okay? Had a wife and a couple of kids, but the girl that I knew was the product of this second relationship. So this military guy was high ranking, he was married, and with the second girlfriend or wife or whatever you want to call it, they had kids together, and that happened to be the young lady that I knew. So, you know, high-ranking official. The family was well off. Both families were well off. The father taking care of the second family and the first family and everything, taking care of everybody until he died. Okay? Now, when the father died, the second family got nothing. The first family got it all. And I'd be damned if the wife of the first family is gonna take care of the girlfriend of the second family. So, you know, you go from living a high life, you know, being the daughter or the second girlfriend of a high-ranking official, to having nothing because nothing was left for you in the will. All of the properties, assets, cash, whatever you want to call it, insurance policies, all of that goes to the first wife. Then you're SOL. You understand? So I want you ladies to understand the significance of why divorce is needed, especially if you find yourself in second relationships where the person is taking care of you. You got to make sure that you're taken care of as well should shit hit the fan and that man got to go, or that man passes away, or that man goes to jail, or whatever it may be. You got to look out for self too, ladies. I'm not going to sit there and leave you hanging out to dry, because Doc is not that way. But in that particular situation, I felt bad for the young lady because, again, she was going to a prestigious university in the Philippines and everything. I think she was probably second or third year at the time. And when the husband, or her father, passed away, she couldn't go to school anymore. Basically, her and her mother and her other siblings were forced to fend for themselves. So again, guys, we are fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. Gentlemen, we are not perfect. I think that like I said, till I was rudely interrupted, I think that in any situation or any case like that, ladies, you gotta make sure you look out for yourself. Gentlemen, like I said, we ain't perfect and we can be fucked up sometimes, and I think that was a pretty bad move not to at least make sure wifey and second girlfriend or whatever was taken care of. I think that if you're going to purposely set out to have these extramarital affairs or anything like that, and you choose to have kids, you don't never want the kids to suffer. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that everybody is looked out for, if that's the way you choose to navigate and live your life. I'm never going to judge you for doing it, because he who is without sin should cast the first stone. But, you know, I ain't without sin, so I can't do that. So I kind of feel like, at least if you're going to partake in said activities, at least make sure everybody in the situation is taken care of. Don't punish the kids, or don't do anything that's going to leave your extra family without shit, okay? Which is, again, a good reason why divorce is an actual option that is awesome for the Philippines. I think that if he truly wanted to be with that young lady in real life, like for real, he should have just separated himself completely from that first relationship. He could afford the annulment if he wanted to. They were probably separated, but again, first wife get everything, second girlfriend get nothing, and her kids and everybody is left to suffer. I mean, I'm not one to cast judgment, but at the very least, make sure everybody's taken care of if you're going to partake in said activity. You know what I'm saying? The last thing you want to do is have your kids suffering for your fucking mistakes. So again, divorce in the Philippines would be awesome for everybody. And again, it would just be awesome as an option. Let's talk about it from it just being an option. Everybody should be able to have the option to say, you know what, I feel like this is no longer working out for me and you. I think that we are better off going our separate ways. And, you know, I feel your pain and I understand that we were not perfectly meant to be. So let's just go ahead and get a divorce, make it amicable so that there's no dragging it out in the court. Y'all both sign the papers and y'all both move on. Now, in the US, it's a little bit different because, you know, separation of assets and all of that stuff. I think that's the issue here as well, but I don't believe that your average Filipina or Filipino man, average now, don't take this as a sign of disrespect, but there may not be much to separate between husband and wife. Maybe they have a car and also a house together, but ultimately, as far as, you know, being average Filipino, I'm not talking about rich Filipino, but average Filipino, you know, the separation of assets shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, there may be money involved and things like that. You're gonna choose to take care of the wife and the kids. I'm not sure how that works out as far as a norm. As far as alimony, child support, and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, child support is an issue here that I don't believe exists. Maybe you guys know more than me, but child support in the Philippines, Jesus Christ, as many foreigners that come through and make these babies and shit, they don't pay no child support. Most of them don't. I think they need to get up on that shit real quick as part of the divorce policy or process as well. That should be something they should look into as well. Sorry, foreign guys, if you're out here making babies and shit and not taking care of them. I can't really respect that, man. Can't really respect that. I tried my best for 10 years of my life to duck and dodge making these babies and shit, so you know, if I can do it, I'm trying to figure out how the fuck you can't. If I did it for 10 years, how can you fuck up the first time? I mean, damn, maybe your withdrawal game is fucked up or something. Maybe you just thought, I don't care, man, if she gets pregnant, right? Not always a good look, man. Then you wonder why half the country don't really like us very well as foreigners here. But back to the point. Divorce in the Philippines would be awesome for everybody involved. I think that it works to the benefits of the government. I believe it'll bring in more money if you charge to get divorced. I'm not saying charge a lot of money for a divorce, but if you gotta file the paperwork, do all of that stuff, a couple thousand, 3,000, 3 to 5,000 pesos, maybe even 10 grand or some shit to get a divorce. I don't know what the how much it costs to get a divorce in the US. Thank God I've never been married. Thank God I've never been divorced. So to all of my guys who have been divorced, leave that in the chat box or the comment section below to let me know what the pricing is for divorce in the United States, please. But yeah, man, in the Philippines, I think it could be a moneymaker. Again, I'm not saying that the government should profit from the misery of others, but divorce may not necessarily be a miserable process. It may be a very elating, a very relieving process for the Filipino people if they are allowed to know that I no longer have to deal with this motherfucker, or I no longer have to deal with this bitch, and I can live my life. And I mean that in the most respectful way humanly possible. But when you've been in a relationship that is very hostile, that could end very badly, I want everybody to be happy, man. I'm a happy-go-lucky dude, and I believe that everybody should be happy, you know? So allowing divorce in the Philippines would be awesome. In conclusion, I think that's all I wanted to say, ladies and gentlemen. Did not want to make this video very long. Guys, make sure you get the likes up. I hope that you enjoyed this bit. I hope that you guys subscribe to the channel. Hope that you guys, you know, donate to the cause, man. Doc is over here dropping these jewels, and I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the jewels that the Doc is dropping and shit. Having fun in the sun, beautiful Philippines day. You see me sweating. You guys have seen me sweating in the last couple videos. But we gonna survive, man. That's what the game is all about, baby. That's what the game is all about, alright? So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Beautiful people. Should be listed somewhere here, or over there. All of my information should be listed in the link in the description area below. Books and all of that good stuff. But Patreon and PayPal and all of that stuff is there as well. But donate, man. Don't feel bad for supporting the cause for the good Doc, man. I'm here to drop these jewels, and I'm here to make sure that Philippines vlogging is great again, and I'm also here to make sure that I do my part, man. As a citizen of a country that has become my adopted home, I just want to speak my mind. I hope that nobody gets upset at me about having an opinion about divorce in the Philippines. If you do, don't know what you expect from me, alright? So, with that being said, the good Doc is officially out. I at least na go pa alam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys sincerely. Mahal kita, mabuhay. Deuces.